The subject is how to be attractive to clients. And I'm not talking about, putting your best suit on, all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about your attitude. And I'm not going to go like wowsy, positive attitude all the time, because you've got to be very practical with this. Now, way back in the day, in 1991, I worked in an estate agency as a mortgage advisor. Had a great time, loved it. And we had this fella who worked in the Guildford branch. This is Guildford in Surrey, rather nice part of the world. Commuter belt for London, that sort of thing. And his name was Mark Haddon White. Now, Mark, if you're listening to me, get in touch, But Mark Haddon White was about 20 at the time. And he was the best performing estate agent in the whole branch. Why? Well, he didn't have any pressure. The bloke had a trust fund for millions coming his way very shortly. And, bless his cotton socks, nice fella. He didn't need to really earn any money. He just did it, to keep himself active, really. Okay, he talked with a bit of a plum, which helped with some of the very rich vendors. But he was the best performing estate agent because he had this attitude of abundance all the time. He had no worries, no stress, nothing to cause him any anguish whatsoever. And therefore, when he came across with clients, he was just relaxed and confident, and it just like he was a big hit. Now, an abundant attitude, as I'm calling here, is very attractive to clients. If you have a mental attitude of abundancy, it means that you're confident, you're assured, you're happy in your own skin. There's no pressure that's bringing you down. I mean, you're not being sort of naive or anything, but you just have this positive attitude about things. If you have an abundant attitude, you wake up in the morning and you realise there's plenty of business around if you work hard enough for it. The pie is big enough for everybody to share. You can grow, you can thrive, you need to collaborate with people to get the best out of any business. It's all a very positive attitude, abundancy. So that's what we call that, really. It's called an abundant kind of attitude. There you go. And Mark Haddon White had this in spades, because that's the way he was. Now, the opposite to abundance is what we call scarcity. An attitude of scarcity or famine. I used to call this famine and feast. Now, an attitude of scarcity is where you wake up in the morning and you're really stressed. The current economy is making people stress. I've talked to a lot of brokers over the last few months. A lot of them won't tell you. On LinkedIn, they won't tell you. It's all a bit sort of, look at me, I'm brilliant. But they're feeling very much pressurized. The business levels are like falling. Their money and income levels are falling. They're wondering sometimes what they're going to do. There's a lot of pressure on them. There's a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety. Mindsets are very negative. A lot of self-imposed worry. Belief about the future is not positive. Anxiety is kicking in. I mean, you could go on, can't you? But that's the beliefs of scarcity. Now, what I'm saying to you really is, okay, there's no magic pill for this, but if you recognize that you've got a scarcity frame of mind, then you want to turn it into an abundant frame of mind. Even if you just do it in public, with your loved ones, you can still be worried and anxious. Of course you could. It's human nature, isn't it? But if you start to think about having an attitude of abundance, so there are opportunities out there. For example, you can diversify your business model, and you should. Maybe you got a bit of time to retrain, maybe as a financial advisor or something. I've been kicking that can for a year now. Last autumn I talked about this. Retrain, look at the protection market, look at the debt management market, help people in their situations. Get into the bridging seconds marketplace, the development finance marketplace. That in recessions, those entrepreneurs still go ahead and buy properties, and there's still money around for that area as well. Cut your costs as a business. Reduce the pressure on your outgoings. We can all cut costs, can't we, sometimes, without being ridiculous about it. Get a niche. Don't just be a broker that deals with everybody that's got a pulse. It's no good. Okay, no, a good market, you're picking off the low-hanging fruit, aren't you? But in this market, you're picking up windfalls on the ground. So get a niche. That way you become known, you get referred. You become an expert, very referable if you have a niche area in your mortgage and protection advice business. Look at financial advice as well, which is affected by recessions, of course, but generally speaking, people have got the money and you're helping them to invest it. Pensions, equity release rates are high, yes, of course, but the equity release marketplace. But we've been banging on this for a long time, and if you've still got your head in the sand, still waiting for that lovely first-time buyer for the 95% mortgage on the new homes that's selling, like hotcakes on the new home site, it's head in the sand time. So have positive beliefs, of course. Get rid of negative beliefs. You can work on your negativity. There's some NLP techniques you can use to get rid of negative beliefs. Of course, you're going to have worries and stress and fear and anxiety. But start to realise, that there is business. In any recession, there is business to be had. You just got to work harder for it, a bit smarter maybe. Look at different areas, different avenues. Cut your costs, of course, to reduce your outgoings. That way you don't need so much money to come in. Maybe you've got a bit of money you put away during the good times that you can now use to supplement your income, of course. That's always a good thing as well. So look at that. So reduce the pressure on you is another one. I know it's not easy. I've been in a situation where, was it 10 years ago, just after the financial crash, we had a mortgage at the time of about £400,000. I had unsecured debts, credit cards of about 60 grand. I'm not joking. We just built this huge extension that just went out of control. The credit crunch kicked in. I had 3 very small children, had no idea what was going on. It's pressure. It's stressful. Don't get me wrong. I've been through it. You have to work through it, work a plan and work through it. So what I'm saying to you then is do what you can to move into this attitude of abundance. It's not smiley, happy, clappy, big positive attitude kind of scenario. It's not like that. It's realistic, but you know that there is business there out there for you. There is going to be light at the end of the tunnel. We will come through this recession. We will come back out of it. Interest rates will come down a little bit in a couple of years' time, probably when they've contained inflation. It'll be a better marketplace for it. There'll be less people in the marketplace. There'll be less competition. You wait and see. The mortgage market tends to do that. A lot of people in it, and then they get back out of it very quickly when they can't make the money. They have to change their jobs. And I'm not knocking that. It's the way it is. Financial advice sector will maintain itself and will grow. Plenty of opportunities there. And if you want to talk about retraining, talk to me about it. We've got a scheme this year. Haven't had a lot of people on it yet, but we're going to be running it this year and next year. I've spoken to my friends down at the LIBF because we're really pushing their DIP FA. And I think there's mileage for you to do that, to get into that world, because it's the same business at the end of the day. So it's all about having an attitude of abundance. The alternative, of course, is to be age 20 and have a trust fund coming your way in a couple of months' time of millions. Would that just be lovely? Although I don't know if I'd end up working and move to some desert island somewhere and have a good time. But that's all about abundance. I hope you found that useful.